stand-up comedian, although I'm sitting down. I'm not sitting down because I have chronic arthritis in both knees. I'm sitting down because I'm lazy. And, doing stand-up comedy, I used to do it. I didn't always sit down. So sitting down's a new thing for me doing comedy, and, it kind of made me nervous, and I was a little worried. So I got to thinking about all my comedy heroes that used to sit down to do comedy. And Bill Cosby, he used to do comedy sitting down. I thought maybe I could do my comedy like Bill Cosby. Any of you ladies want a drink? Keep laughing, it's cool. And so on the way here tonight, I was driving down the highway, and I saw one of those, you ever see those message signs that says, there's a stalled car up ahead, or they'll have the, don't drink and drive. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Okay, good. That'll help the joke. So I'm driving on the way here tonight, and I saw one of those road message signs, and it said, "Help save a life, don't drive distracted." So I rear-ended the guy in front of me. Apparently he slowed down to read the sign. Ba-dum-bum. Anyway. It's good to be here in Missouri. Weed's legal here. I'm over here. Yeah, all right, any weed heads here? 4 of you, okay. Yeah, I live over in Kansas where it's still a Nazi state. It's just a seed execution. Anyway, that's Kansas for you. But yeah, I love marijuana, I do, and I got to reading up on it, and they you hear on the news, they want to get rid of all the Mexicans. Well, I love Mexicans. One of the reasons why is because if you read back in history, they were the ones that kind of introduced marijuana to the white man when we got over here in this country. So, therefore, I would like to thank all the Mexicans for bringing all the pot into this country. Gracias por la multa, you know what I'm saying? Okay, all right, I'll rework that one. Anyway. Yeah, weed, man, it saves lives, it really does. They don't ever talk about what it does to save lives, but if you're pissed off and you're mad at somebody and you're like, I'm gonna fucking kill you! Tomorrow! Yeah, and let's see here. And I'd like to thank all the black people in this country for inventing the blunt. Okay, and I'd like to thank all the Chinese for having all those buffets. Okay, all right. I got you there. All right, good.
It's getting a little dicey there.
Not too long ago, well, now it's been a while, but there's Netflix brought back the show Unsolved Mysteries.
Oh, yeah.
You know that? Okay, yeah. Well, I got lucky enough to be on one of the episodes.
Oh.
I know. And, but it was, the episode was called No Ride Home. And they basically left this guy at a party and he never came back home and they found his body and he's dead. And isn't that great for comedy? All right, and the episode that I was on ended up making that where it was they reopened the case for the family. That's a good thing. However, the funny part of that, or embarrassing part of that, is I was one of the people who were searching for a body. Well, when they got to the set, we all met at some place, and they took us on these fancy golf carts to where we actually had to film. And where we had to film, it was in a field. And it had rained earlier, and it was muddy, but it wasn't splashy mud, it was just real soft dirt. Right, so when I'm getting out of the fancy golf cart, I go to step down into the field, and my foot goes right into the dirt. Uh-oh. So I pull my foot out of there, and Darth Vader is invading the speaker.
Yes. Yeah. All of a sudden, no, it's not you, it's me.
Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Miss Darth Vader.
Hold on.
Don't cry at me, Father. Give it up for the best Darth Vader impersonation I've ever heard in my life.
Thank you. I really worked on it hard. Worked on that.
So anyway, as I'm getting out of this fancy golf cart, I'm sinking into the mud and trying to balance myself. And oh, by the way, it was laundry day, so I was going commando. I know, and that'll play a big part here in a second. So, as I'm trying to maneuver my big ass through the mud, I fell. I fell face forward into the mud, and everybody was freaking out. I was like, don't worry, gravity works. And so they're going to pull me out of the mud. And the producer's there. And he's like, don't worry, man, we got you. And I'm like, dude, man, my pants are falling down. He goes, don't worry, we got you covered. So on the count of 3, they pulled me up. 1, 2, 3. They pulled me up, and my pants stayed down in the mud. Let me tell you something, that mystery was solved right there and then, okay? And so my last name is Hilton. And I used to have this joke about me not being related to Paris Hilton. But it turns out that some of my family members went and did one of those DNA tests things, whatever.
Okay.
And it turns out that I am related to Paris Hilton. I know, she's like my 16th cousin or something. It's far away down the line to where I can fuck her. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And if she is a family member, then all I gotta say is she got the money and I got the good looks. Thank you for laughing at that. That made me feel real better. All right. Anyway, I got some new stuff that I want to try for you guys. All right. Cool. And you all notice how the world went? It was me, or did the world seem to go to shit after Tiger King? You know, right after Tiger King, we have the plague and the death and $200 for toilet paper. Okay, yeah, and what else did we have there? You know, everybody had something I noticed everybody's doing, identifying with pronouns now. You know, they, him, her. Let me tell you something, what I identify, my pronoun is that. Like, as in, what the fuck is that? No? I fucking loved wearing them. I loved wearing those masks. Let me tell you some full disclosure here. When I was younger, I wanted to rob a bank. So the first time I went into my bank with a mask on, I got a fucking hard on, man. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go up there and go stick them up. Of course, the guy in front of me did that. He went up there and said, stick them up. I was like, this asshole just stole my thunder. But I had the mask on so I could go, this asshole stole my thunder. Motherfucker. Anyway. I was hoping that would do better, but anyway, we'll work on that one. So I wanted to talk about the LGBTQIA plus community. And I'm an old dog, man. It's a new world now. I'm an old dog in a new world trying to learn new tricks. You know, I don't want to piss somebody off. I'm not an edgy comic. I'm not trying to do comedy to get controversy or anything like that. I just want to make people laugh and be happy. But I don't know what's going on with the LGBTQ. So I asked somebody, I said, how come there's no S for straight or H for heterosexual? And they explained to me that each one of those letters represents a group that gets persecuted. Okay? How about ugly people? You know, because ugly people fuck better, okay? That's why there's so many of us. And I know none of you letter people want a fucking ugly person, okay? So ugly people are persecuted too. And if you put a U mixed in with the LGBTQIA, you can make a word like NASA. Okay, hear me out. Put a U in there, and if you mix it up right, you can come up with the word quilt bag. Make it the quilt bag community, you know what I'm saying? Because what's a quilt? It's different patches of different things put together and making one whole group, a quilt bag. Shit, I was hoping that would work. I mean that with love.
Like knitting club.
Anyway. Well, before I got into comedy, I had 2 full-time jobs. Anybody ever have to do this? Work 8 hours back to back, get done, go to another job?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You get tired. What's that? That's your life? Okay, you'll relate to this, sorta. Wait till she hears what one of the jobs are. She's going to be like, no, I have nothing to do with that. Hold on. Hold on. If you know me, you know what I'm about to say. I had 2 full-time jobs. In the daytime, I worked for a self-storage facility, like on Storage Wars. Yeah, I did. And if I answered their phones a certain way, I would get a bonus. And at night, I answered phones for an escort service. You saw it coming, so did they. Napkin, wipe it off. So if I answered their phones a certain way, I would get arrested. And I get sometimes I'd be so tired, I'd get my phone conversations all mixed up. Little old ladies and yeah. Guys would call me up late at night and they'd be like, hey, what do your girls look like, huh? And I'm like, well, there's blondes, brunettes, busty girls, petite girls. Some are short, some are tall, some are 5'5", 5'10", 10'20". You can park a ranch boat with some of them. You think that's bad? Little old ladies would call me up in the daytime. They'd be like, how much are your storage facilities? And I'd be like, $250 an hour? Plus tips. She said, well, that kind of price, I'll just sell my body. And I'm like, well, we are hiring. Okay. Was that? Are we all having a good time so far? All right. I'm going to do one more to get off of here. I noticed we had some music up here earlier. That guy was pretty cool, man. He was trying to play and everybody was talking. I kind of felt bad for him, but he's not here. He's outside. He don't give a shit. But I like heavy metal music. I know you couldn't tell by the way I was dressed, but I'm a big metalhead. And me and a buddy of mine, we went to go see a band called Napalm Death. Yeah, and it was a trip to watching these guys introduce a song. They were like, hello, we're from Birmingham, England. We're glad you're here tonight to indulge yourselves. This next track is entitled, Hear the Guitar. My buddy Dave shit his pants. I make the staff shit. It's a good show. That's all I'm trying to do. Anyway. Well, I'm going to get on out of here. I'm kind of hungry. I'm going to go to a Waffle House. You guys got Waffle House around here?
Yeah.
You ever notice the best Waffle House to go to have a letter burn out on the sign? The other day I had some kick-ass hash browns at an awful hoe. Well, that was my fantastic closer. Thank you, guys. I want to thank the Rusty Spur for letting me sit here and bother you people, especially Jesse Turney. Everybody give it up for Jesse Turney over there who paid for the bar. Let's not forget the wait staff, all right? You guys tip the wait staff. You know, yeah. And And what you guys probably don't know is if you tip the waitstaff well enough, they will put drugs in your drink. I'm Dale Hilton. Thank you very much and good night.
I had no idea.
Yeah.